Hey guys, it's your boy Pat. Welcome back to another episode of the Hollow Down Cigar Lounge podcast. We are roaring through the month of December, bringing out our homeboys again on the show for another great time. So we're going to bring in our homeboys, Justin and Chad. What is up, my friends? How are y'all today?
Gentlemen, afternoon.
Great, man. How are you?
Doing great. And to be corny, don't care. It's about to get even better because it is cigar time, baby.
Yeah.
So this one is one of those where, for show purposes, it is a full Toro. So before we talk too much, let's light up this baby. Then we're gonna get going. So today we are smoking a Diamond Crown Black Diamond, and let me see if this will pop up for me as well. So, oh yeah, that's gorgeous. So great band there. Great top band. It's even got a good little foot band right there. So I'm anxious to light this one up, and note, foot band slides right off with no issues. What kind of cuts are y'all doing? I think I'm gonna pop a V cut on this one. What are y'all doing? Straights or what?
I did a straight cut.
Straight cut?
Yeah, I did a straight cut. You can V-cut these, though. They have a really nice cap, so you don't have to worry about damaging them.
Yeah, no, it cut great there.
I go back and forth.
Cold draw, I'm getting coffee and leather.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if you cold drawed it, but anytime I cold draw a cigar and it tastes like Red Man, did you guys ever chew Red Man when you were kids?
I've actually never chewed at all. I have friends did, but I never did.
So Red Man, it has a very specific, like when you open the pouch and smell it, has a very specific smell. And whenever I cold draw a cigar and it tastes to me like that Red Man smells, I know it's going to be good. Every time, it's never let me down.
Interesting. I can't relate to that one because I don't know.
I cold draw and I got some tobacco in the back of my throat.
That does happen.
Is this your first time with this one, Justin, or have you had it?
No, this is my first time.
Oh, all right.
I am excited.
Now this one, if I'm not mistaken, Chad, I feel like you'll know better and can correct me, but if I'm looking correctly, this is actually a cigar made by the there it is again, the Fuente family, correct?
It is. It's rolled at the Fuente factory.
Okay.
It's a J.C. Newman product, but it's rolled by Fuente.
I saw both, so I wanted to make sure I wasn't completely wrong.
Yeah, it's there. It's J.C. Newman's cigar, but if you look at the band, it says Tabacalera a la Fuente on it, and that means it's rolled at their factory.
Yep, I see that. I do see that. So you got, you know what? Since we're doing show and tell, let's pop you up there, Justin. Can you show that again, Justin? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see if it'll focus for you. Yeah, so there you got your Tabacalera A Fuente.
Yep.
Beautiful diamond and your J.C. Newman. Yeah, so I like it. It's a gorgeous look. I'll tell you that. Of course, I'm a sucker for anything, dark and bold, and by appearances alone, as would be expected with either one of those companies, get myself centered in the camera over here. They always seem to do a good job on construction and appearance. They don't let you down. But let's tell you what we should see on this one. So I went to Neptune this time because I purposely wanted to, since we have the three of us, give you the basic intro and then kind of see how we feel from there. So it's a sun-grown Connecticut leaf. Strength, they've got it as a full, but almost like a 4.5 full. It's not all the way up on intensity. Maduro wrapper color, binder and filler are both Dominican Republic, and expectation of notes full of leather, dark chocolate, and cedar. So curious to see what we pull out, and I will tell you on my own immediate dark chocolate, but what they don't say is I'd say coffee, but I almost want to specifically lean more towards like a espresso-ish coffee myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got some pepper on the first few hits too.
Did you retro yet?
Yeah.
Is that a dumb
Chocolate and
question?
pepper. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, I'm 5 hits in, so yeah, I've probably retroed twice. But yeah.
Yeah, I can already tell this is going to be a good cigar.
That is that retro is not what I expected.
It's bold, but the pepper, it's still got a little pepper. But as soon as the thing I like about this is the pepper goes right away. So
Right.
Yeah,
It hits and it just kind of backs on up.
Yeah, the pepper went right away, but now the retro is getting like a milk chocolate almost. Not dark chocolate, but milk chocolate, surprisingly.
Well, intros to cigars. You never know what's going to morph. So this is
that is very tasty.
well, Chad, if I can throw you on the spot. Oh my
Burrito
god,
strawberry today. Strawberry.
strawberries. We
Throw me on the spot.
I mean, we can't not talk about burritos on this show anymore. It's just kind of
It's a
I
staple.
kind of made it my thing. I just save them for when I'm going to be on, and I drink them.
I mean, it's like we can't
It's
ever
fine.
get away from Fluffernutter. Now we're not going to get away from Jarritos. So
Or Dr. Pepper. We always mention Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
well,
23 flavors.
23 flavors. So I'll show you what there is the top of my cap. Luckily, this has a good solid double cap, so I only lost the top ring. It's not
Oh,
trying
did
to
it pull off?
Yeah, but it was only the second cap, so hopefully I will not have any issues because the rest of it's still there.
Okay.
But if I can throw you on the spot, Chad, since you are our self-proclaimed Fuente man, what
Well, I
can
don't know
you?
about that, but
It's just you're the one that introduced a lot of stuff to us. So, what do you know, and what can you tell us about this cigar before we kind of get too much into it?
oh, well, I sent you that thing about that being the 100th anniversary cigar, and that's really the only thing I know about this stick.
Okay.
That was J.C. Newman's 100th anniversary. This is the stick they put out exclusively for that 100th anniversary.
And
like we talked
didn't
about,
realize
it's
that.
rolled at Fuente. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know a whole lot about it other than I've smoked a ton of them and I love them.
The website I read a little bit, it said that J.C. Newman was wanting to spend as much money as it costs to make the best cigar that they have produced so far. And that
Yep.
was this, for the 100th anniversary specific. He was like, doesn't matter the amount of money, where we get the leaf from, I want the best cigar for our 100th anniversary. So that's what
Yeah,
this guy
and
is.
reading that note, there's a line here that says, quote, he didn't care how much it cost to make or even if it's sold. He just wanted it to be the best. That's crazy.
And the funny thing is they're not really that expensive. So they are between $17 and $20 a stick.
For a cigar that's intended to be a premium offering, that's
Yeah, I mean, it's reasonable, I think.
fantastic. Yeah. You expect it to be, if you got a comment of him wanting to go that far with it, you kind of would expect it to be a higher price point. But you got some flagship lines or flagship cigars and other lines that cost more than this. So that's incredible.
Yeah, when you looked it up on Neptune, was there a box price on there?
Yeah. So the box price. So we'll go with,
360 to 380
on this size. Well, the size, because you've got, I believe we're smoking different sizes. If I'm wrong, y'all correct me. Me and Justin have the Toro 6x52, which is their Emerald, and then you have more or less the
Marquee.
Robusto Marquee, which is 5 1/4 by 56.
That's correct.
Okay, so the Emerald size is 416 a box. So this size is pretty much right at $20 and some change. Yours is the $396 for a box, so you're going to be right, closer to that, what, 18-ish. If my rough math is
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, and then they have a smaller one which I haven't had yet. It's like a 4x50.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
the
other one.
Radiance of 4.5 by 54, and that one's 360 a box. So now you're back down. So
I
Nice
love
right
quick
those
now.
little,
names. Those names are awesome.
I do.
nice quick
Yeah.
little cigar.
Emerald, Marquee, and Radiant.
As we get into these winter months, I really start to kind of lean towards, like when I'm buying stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm going to start leaning towards shorter smokes because this makes it a little more convenient to come out and smoke for 45 minutes or an hour rather than
Right.
2 hours or an hour and 45.
I did not do that. I bought nothing but Toros
Right,
lately.
right. And I know Pat's only bought Gordos, so
Yeah.
Hey, you
I'm
know what?
gonna-
I'm actually trying to include more Toros in the mix. So I've still got my Gordos, but especially stuff we do on the shows and whatever for timing purposes, if nothing else, I am trying to get a little bit more Toros involved. And just like we've talked periodically, a lot of Toros are kind of your preferred and your target range. So I'm trying to go back to smoking more Toros in the mix, but I do still lean to my Gordos.
Toros are still a pretty good time investment. Most of the
It's
time, they're
it's probably
an
just
hour
the flavor
plus.
profile that you like because you like the binder and filler that they put in there. It's probably more your flavor preference.
It is a lot, like I said, y'all have heard me say I started migrating to them just because of my hand size, but it's as you see different sizes and different blend ratios, you kind of get your preference. And I do like Toros, but when you go Gordo, most of them kind of get just a hair smoother just because there's more filler to ratio out with the wrapper. But I don't
Yeah,
know,
it's the same theory when you go from like a Corona or a Robusto up to a Toro. Toros are
right.
notoriously smoother than the smaller offerings, so
Like
only
we
makes
talked on
sense.
the Red Meat Lovers a couple of shows back, we had different sizes. All three of us had different sizes, if I remember, and that was an interesting thing to note is the different pepper profiles. The flavor was the same, but the pepper was a little different between the sizes. So
So Pat, I know you like Scotch. Are you getting that peaty note? I'm getting that peaty note.
barely. It's it like comes and goes, but it's not staying strong enough. Like I wouldn't necessarily, at least at this stage, I wouldn't necessarily say that it is pure peatiness yet. I'm actually hitting some Deanston Scotch right now, so we'll see if maybe that kind of pulls it out a little bit.
Well, cheers to that. Drinking some Blantons.
Oh,
Alcohol and
Um,
Jarritos.
Yeah.
I
it's
want to hear
getting-
the story about your Blantons, though.
Oh, okay. You want to do that already? Okay. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
you teased us
drinking-
by telling us you had a story.
I'm drinking
You
a
have to see it.
Blanton's. It's a special specs edition single barrel select. I'll make a long story short. That bottle I had to wait in. Well, let me just start. It was a whiskey drop, and what Specs does is they go to all the whiskey distilleries all over the country, and they select a single barrel from each whiskey or bourbon distillery, and then they barrel it, or they take the barrel, then they bottle it, and they distribute it at certain specs. So my buddy invited me. I had no idea what I was going to. He was like, "Hey, come with me to this whiskey drop. I'll buy you a bottle." I was like, okay, because they only give out one bottle per person. So if I went with him, he could get 2 bottles of whatever he wanted.
Okay.
So I went there, and we were there really early, but I see like this crowd around this specs building, and I'm like, what did I just get myself into? We had no chairs, we had no food, we had no snacks, we had no nothing. He didn't really know what was going on either. We were on the news. There was a helicopter view of the store around. So many people were around the store. I waited in line for 7 hours to get
Jesus.
these bottles. We had no idea what we were in for. And luckily, I didn't bring a chair, but he had one chair in his back of his truck. So we took turns with the chair. And then the closer we got to the front of the store, the closer we got to a 7-Eleven, which we had to go there for bathroom breaks. And we bought breakfast there, and we bought lunch there.
Oh
and we
my.
end up getting in. And I got a bottle of Old Forester, a bottle of Blanton's, a bottle of Buffalo Trace, a few other bottles. But so that bottle was very special to me. It was about 2 years ago, and I was
Okay.
gonna open it up on my 40th birthday in April, but I'll be on a cruise in April, like I've mentioned. So I was like,
Right.
you know what? It's Thanksgiving. Why not crack it open? Sure enough, cracked it open, and it is just as amazing as I thought it was going to be.
Now, this won't matter as much to Chad just for regional areas, but what specs was it that had the space for that many people? Like, which one did you actually
The
go to?
the specs in Dallas. I'm not sure the actual location, but it was like dead center in Dallas.
Okay,
Yeah,
because I know
off of
I've
one of
been
the
Are
to.
they,
major freeways.
I don't even know what they are. They like a big liquor retailer.
Yeah, it's a big liquor store retailer.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
they've got them
there's
all over the place.
specs is pretty much. I wish we had them over in Louisiana, but every time I go to Dallas, I end up sneaking in there and grabbing something because we've got. Of course, this is just a Northwest Louisiana thing. We've got a company called Thrifty. It's a small area company, but they have a bunch of stores with selection, but they got nothing on specs. Specs is Chad. Do y'all have like any Total Wines up there at all, or are they only down here as well?
Not in my area, but I think they have them like if you get over to the bigger cities of Detroit, Ann Arbor, Grand
Okay,
Rapids.
Kind of the
so
equivalency of that.
the Economic Quincy's got massive alcohol selections, but it's also got a small cigar humidor in it. So for guys like us, it's kind of a win-win. And
Yeah, I've
for a
heard those
liquor
Total
store, it's
Wines
actually
have
pretty
those
good.
too. Yeah,
They
Total
do.
Wines have humidors too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they do.
That's what I'd heard. Yeah.
Yeah, funny enough, there was a guy smoking a cigar in line, and it was just before I started my cigar, journey or whatever you want to call it. And I was like
Right.
looking at him, and I was like, man, that smells good. And it kind of got me thinking more and more about a cigar. 2 years later, now I'm smoking a ton of cigars, and now have a big selection, and just how life works.
It's the best problem to ever get into is realizing you actually enjoy cigars.
Exactly, exactly.
Yep.
So this one
Yeah.
doesn't
So
have as much smoke output as we've had lately, but it seems to be a smooth draw. And I don't, we talked, well, mostly Chad has referenced that smoke output usually produces more flavor just because it's hitting more of your palate at the same time. But I think this one's doing a pretty damn good job of hitting everything in my palate because it's very well coated and bold. But every once in a while I get like a little harsh tone, but it
mhm.
backs off almost instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
refer to
get,
that as like the body of the smoke is like the density. When people talk about body, this would
Right?
be more medium body, full flavor. I think.
I get like a little sweet note with the retro hail now. It's
Hmm.
just at the end. It's a nice little finish.
I mean, just enough of the chocolate notes to kind of pull that out.
Yeah.
And
My
I'm gonna do
favorite,
this
my favorite note's yet to come, and I'm not even gonna say anything until one of you guys pick it out. But
because you've
What's
smoked this before. This is a new smoke for both of us, so this is
yeah,
definitely a virgin experience on this blend for us.
I've
well,
smoked probably 2 boxes of these.
anything
Okay,
that JC Newman and Arturo Fuente or the Fuente family produces is money. So
and I'm
um
gonna show this now before because I'm gonna have to pop this down in a minute because of the computer, but it's holding up pretty good. But what I want to show is the rings on that ash. It's not quite to stacking dimes, but it is pretty dang close.
yeah,
So
mine's the same way.
good construction points already.
So
Yeah,
Justin, when you got that bottle, and your friend goaded you into going over there and spending your whole day there to stand in line with him so he could get 2 bottles of whatever he wanted,
Uh-huh.
did he pay for all your booze?
He bought me the one bottle, and then I spent probably $300 that I didn't expect to spend on
Uh,
special single barrel bourbons. But
and 7-Eleven hot dogs and
he
whatever
bought the
else you.
food. It was nice of him. He was like, "Dude, I feel bad. Let me buy your food. Let me buy you a bottle." And I'm like, I didn't have any plans that day, so I got a few, awesome bottles and a free bottle, and free food.
Did he buy you
And
the expensive bottle, the Blanton's, or was
he
that the
he
most
bought me a
expensive one?
bottle of Buffalo Trace because he probably spent well over $1,000.
Ooh, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah, he does well.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good day, even though you had to wait around.
Yeah,
Start, there's
it was a good bro hang.
there's always stories in cigars, and we love the stories and nostalgia in cigars. But you have them in your whiskey and your bourbons and your rums and the whole spirits world as well. You know, it's fun for us because these kind of hobbies sometimes go hand in hand. So which is why the specs and Total Wine kind of have them that way. But it's always interesting to know the story. So for you, that's going to hold some memory, good, bad, or indifferent, depending on the
Yep.
day. But you've got a reason and how you got it and how you were able to even get it in the first place. And I don't have the bottle out here, but we mentioned the Deansons that I'm smoking today was one of the scotches from the first Cigar Fest that we hung out together. That's where I learned about that one. So
Which is fantastic. Such a
it
good
is
scotch.
it is fantastic.
And for the
But
price point, that's great.
yeah, what was
Here,
it? It was in the 40s, wasn't it? I think, if I remember
I
right.
want to say you said like 57.99 or
Maybe 50s.
maybe 50s, maybe. Let's just call it 50s.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
either way, that's pretty
under
good.
under 60, for a
Yeah,
good scotch, because you have your cheap scotches. Like Grant's is an anomaly in the scotch world. Some people think that is heresy, but it's like 25, $30 triple distilled. It's great. So they're one that price doesn't always equate, but usually in scotch world, you kind of have to get up to the $40, $50 range to start getting proper age time and start getting some good flavors. So if I was the 50s and I'm just not remembering that would also compete and still be a good price range for what you're getting out of it. But you never know when you're going to find something.
yeah. It's always nice to have memory behind the things that you purchase. Kind of like you were saying, the event liquors and like the NFG cigars. That was a great memory that I had with you and Ellen and
Indeed.
my wife and Hayden and Eldon and everybody that was involved. So
And Hayden is I didn't realize as we kind of like learning. Me and you were close enough to see each other from time to time. Didn't realize Hayden is even closer. So we've actually met at Cigar Lounge a few times. We both have to make a short drive. Well, he's got a better lounge where he actually lives at, but it's a very easy drive for each of us to meet at the lounge that I usually go to. So now we've been able to meet a few times and hang out. Met him because of a cigar event. So it's kind of cool. And eventually, we're a little bit farther from Chad, but eventually something will pull off where we can get up there, run into him or whatever.
Or I might end up being down
or
your
I
way.
was about to say, or he'll come down here. Yep.
Or I
Yeah.
might need to plan a Vegas trip when he's going out there. Who knows? Whatever.
Well, like I told you, I got family. My wife has family down in Texas, so
Right?
it's not too far from where Justin's at, actually.
Nice.
And,
So
and I
someday, if
end
I
up
make it
in
back down
Justin's
that way,
world
I'll hit him
several.
up.
I end up in Justin's world several times a year, so that's kind of one of my weekend getaway points. And as an East Texas kid, that's just kind of what it is. But
Yeah, just come on mosey down here to Tejas and have us a good time.
there we go. And
You met with Hayden a couple weeks ago, didn't you?
yeah, I've met him a few times. The first time or two, we were not smart enough to snag a picture to put in the group or anything, and then we kind of realized, like, hey, maybe we should actually document the fact that we're actually, hanging in person. So
That just means you guys are having a good time.
it is. Did
Because we always forget to take pictures. It's because we're too busy talking and having fun. And I even said, man, we got to take more pictures this time. And we got the one that was in front, like we always do. But after that, but that event, as we talked about, was a little bit of a shit show.
Yeah, I think we got to the point that we grabbed a couple pictures, but if you hadn't walked back in and gotten a couple pictures and videos you got, we wouldn't have had what we had because we just got too frustrated. The best picture we would have had of the day is, eating food in your truck because there's nowhere else to sit.
And there was AC because it was hot.
And there was
that day.
AC. It was hot.
Yeah.
And, one-liner tidbit is, not going to say details, but we've got a show planned coming up soon from a guy that met at NFG that's going to be on the show. So events are kind of cool. People that you get to meet and run into. You know,
Heck yeah.
Justin's included.
Speaking of events, ADV will be at my Cigars International on December 13th. So
You going?
hopefully, if the wife is not too busy with her photo shoots or whatnot, I can get away for a little bit.
Do they say who's coming? Like,
They
as the
haven't
rep?
said yet, but I'll ask my buddy that works there once it gets closer to the date to see who's coming. They'll know.
That
Oh,
is
th-
a possibility. I might can swing that because
Well,
technically
he wasn't inviting you, but I guess.
I don't care.
Pat's always invited.
I'm just kidding.
It's an off weekend, but I come off that morning, so there's a possibility. I have to look and see if I can swing that.
Yeah, the 13th from 6 to 9 or 6 to 10, I think.
So being an evening show versus an afternoon show, there's some possibility. I'll have to look into that and let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good time. Henderson is such an approachable guy, so
I hope
you
that's
get
who
a
it
chance
is,
to
but
meet him.
either way.
Well, either way, I'd like to meet Marcel too. That's his partner, but I don't know how much FaceTime he actually gets. I always see Henderson out on the road, so. But I'd like to meet Marcel as well at some point.
They've got a deal where you buy 5 cigars, you get 1 free and an ADV sticker. You buy 10 cigars, you get 3 free or 2 free, and you get a lighter. And then if you buy a box, you get 5 free, and then some other swag items. So I'm probably gonna try to buy 10 so I can get a sweet lighter.
Yeah.
I've got quite a few of those double flame torches that I think that's probably the same one they're promoting. I bought a couple ADV cigars a while back. So
I had the Chancellor, or I'm sorry, the Explorer this morning. That thing is really good.
I love that cigar. That
That's
cigar
Chad,
is so
you
good.
may know off the top of your head. Wasn't the Explorer their first one? Or
Well,
was it the first one
Navigator
mistake
was
or something?
it was the first one they blended. If I got this right, Navigator is the blue banded one that you and I smoked on the podcast,
Right.
and that was actually a blend that he got his dad created that for him, from what I understand. So that when he brought it in, kind of, I don't know if he helped him with it or what, but then I think the Explorer was their first actual blend.
Where they did it themselves.
Yeah.
They
Which-
weren't originally called ADV, right? They were called something else.
That I don't know. I mean, they're Adventura now. They're also they have a name attached to them, McKay, and I'm not really sure about that,
Maybe
how
I'm-
that works. But what
Yeah, I
name
always
were you
see
thinking they were?
Adventura and McKay Company. So I don't know if
Yeah.
it's just like a holding company or if that was. I've looked. I haven't been able to determine that. I'm kind of curious as well. Curious if
What-
there's a
What
link
name did you
for-
think they were, Justin? Did you think there was a?
I may have been the wrong company, but I could have swore it was started with a B.
Oh, you know what? I think I just read some stuff about that
Hey,
the other day.
Hey, you know what? Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay.
I just read
Because
something about that
you
the
know what
other
I'm going to
day.
do with because I just realized what you're going for. We're not going to do that. We're not going to let you say it
Okay.
because I'm going to
I
make that
don't-
a trivia. I'm going to make that a trivia question.
I can't even
Okay.
think of it
No.
off the top of my
No,
head.
but I think you're right, Justin. I think you are right because I remember seeing something about that. Like I read a press release or something about it, or some old literature on ADV, and I think that was actually a fact.
I'm
In
sure
fact,
Pat looked it up. But
fact,
yeah,
I'm gonna verify
I'm not going to
this,
say
but-
it, but that's what I looked it up because when we start smoking these cigars and you guys introduced me to them, I'm a cigar nerd,
you
so
know
I
what-
like.
I know what you're talking about. It just hit. I'm still gonna do this, but we're gonna hold this for a future show because there is. If you're watching the show, sorry, come back. There is another brand that starts with A that was renamed. I know exactly what you're talking about. We're gonna
Okay.
hold this. I'm not
All
gonna
right.
tell you what it is, so don't give it away. But you're really close.
All right,
I now know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
All right.
but it wasn't Adventura.
It wasn't Aventura. It's another A.
Okay.
It's another 3-letter A.
Oh, now you got my brain thinking.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what it is too.
I better not. I better not hurt myself.
Yeah, I can't say it because we're gonna next time the three of us are on together, we'll have to pull that out because that's
We'll
gonna
we'll
make
sa- we'll save it for another time. Anyways,
yeah.
23 flavors.
But hey, we like doing giveaways around here, so the fact that you just gave us a fun one to do. So next show the three of us are on together. Since you brought it up, let's do it. And we'll
Sounds good.
purposely exclude Ryan from that show so he can participate in the giveaway since we kind of happened to make it up here. We'll do that because I guess we need to start the rule, and it's not to throw anything just.
Oh,
We come up with
I
something.
know what it. I know what it is now. I'm not gonna
Just
say anything. Yep,
Yep.
I know. I know what it is now too. But
It's
it'll be a mystery for the next show.
right. I'm sure it's in the back of Chad's brain because we talked about it. It's just been a little bit, so you just happen to bring the memory back up. So it's probably gonna light bulb with him eventually.
Yeah,
It
you.
might have been you. Did you bring it up to me on a show?
No, it was in our group chat.
Speaking of
I'm not
taking-
gonna say anything about it, but James told me if you have the cigar, cool. If you don't, go get it. I literally got it that night, and I showed him a picture of it. And then like I said, cigar nerd, so I dove deep, and I was like, oh, it was actually called something else before it had this name. So
Gotcha.
we're
Yeah, I
gonna
was
leave that
telling-
for the next show.
It's a cigar that me and you, Chad, have said on the show, and I was just telling him about these cigars, and I was like, hey, this is a good one. You might as well go grab one. Well, since you got one, and we brought this up, we're just gonna let him come on the show when we smoke it. Let's just make it a deal.
And, it's
There we
only
go.
fair for me to be out of another contest.
Well,
That's right.
we,
I think you should be void from all kinds.
Oh, come on.
well, I think me and Chad, we pull ourselves out of anything just as the group moderators, but it's probably appropriate if we produce something on a show. Whoever is on the show, we'll just pull ourselves out just to be fair. So
Well, yeah,
if
we
you're
want
not
the
on
other.
show,
We
do
want the
something-
community involved.
Exactly. I mean,
You brought up the point. Oh, go ahead, Pat.
I was gonna say the four of us trade cigars on an almost weekly basis sometimes. Anyway, it feels like so we're giving each other stuff all the time. So good to bring everybody else in and expand the community as we grow. Let them experience some new things.
Speaking of which, if it happens, not gonna promise anything. When I go to Cosmo, I'm gonna go to Casa de Habanos, and I'm gonna get 3 or 4 of the same Cubans, and then send you guys all of them so we can all smoke one together.
If you do that, we're pulling a Cuban on the show. We got to pull all the stops out. If you're able to do that, that would be.
I'll break out the tequila and all that. We'll do it right.
I think that was his thought, right? That we do it on the show.
Yeah, that was my thought. Yeah, so buy Cubans for all 3 of us or 4 of us, and then have us all smoke it as a review.
So you mentioned earlier about not taking pictures, and I'm horrible at taking pictures. I always remember after the fact to take pictures. I'll go somewhere for a week. I have 2 pictures on my phone of this great trip I just took. But Pat and I were just talking about after the virtual herp, I was like, did you get a screenshot of everybody on the herp so you could post it on the site and say, hey, look, we had our first herp, come join us? He's like, nope, I forgot. And I was like, yeah, I forgot too.
It's like,
Again,
well,
that
was
just means
that
we're
would've
having
been a
fun.
smart thing to do, but
Yeah,
Well, I'll have to have another one soon, then we can take a picture of that one.
and then you'll have to upload a hollow down background.
So I haven't quite figured out how to quite do that because that was the first time for me doing a. We've done it with 3 or 4 of us, but doing it as an open group, which turned out very well. I had several people jump in and out as we were there for a few hours. So that'll be something to play around with, see if we can do that because we experimented. It's on using the Skype platform. We realized that together mode, we were all sitting. What did Mr. Elliott say? It was the Cigar Council of Gentlemen or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Because it had us all like on a stone platform. It was just kind of neat and nifty.
You
Has no
can
relevance to anything, but it was fun.
you can actually do it on Streamlabs too. I don't know if you know that.
You can. It just there's limits. So
There's a little delay.
So we
Thought it was cool because we were all like at the same level, and it
Right.
resized you, so you're all the same size, and looked like we were sitting right next to each other.
Right.
What's your background there?
I think it's a house.
Blow up on Justin there. So there you go.
Hey, I'm in my house,
Hey.
but not really.
So how did you do that?
You press the three little buttons on the side and you tap your picture. Like I can do brick wall. And that's really the only options it gives me. But it says upload background, so you can
Yep.
upload like a hollow down background or whatever. But it does have that little blurriness to it if you move too much. But if you stay still, it'll have it projected.
Yeah. So if you got to do something, your background's not working, whatever. So I wonder. Of course, I'm pulling it up on the. What am I trying to say here? On the laptop version for control, and I don't want to mess it up because mine looks slightly different than it does on the device. So I'll have to play with that when we're not recording.
Or you can do it while we are recording, like Justin just did.
Well, it doesn't give me that option. I don't know if it's because I'm hosting and I got to set it up ahead of time. It just lets me hit the name and some audio functions. It doesn't show it for me, but it does look different on the control side than it does when you're in the app on the phone. So I know it's here. I just don't want to test it and accidentally close out our session while we're in the middle of
Right.
smoking.
That would not be good. So back to
I'm
the
excited.
cigar. What are you guys tasting now?
The farther into this one I start to get a molasses, like molasses flavor.
I think that's what I've been tasting. That
And it's my
sweetness.
favorite note about this cigar is I get molasses. And it's about when you start approaching the band.
So I'm getting there. This one's smoking. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's a too fast burn as a hit. It's just smoking faster than I expected, just a hair. But I'm already hearing. I was kind of chewing on it. I didn't know how to answer Justin, so it may be that molasses because there's a little bit there. I just couldn't quite pull it out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The sweetness, but I couldn't pinpoint it. So, but as soon as Chad said molasses, I said that sounds about right.
Where's Ryan when you need him?
Right. Yeah, I saw in you guys' last podcast, you gave him props for his extensive palate, which he does.
He does.
I can pull out certain notes, like, we were talking about the, what is it, the Laranja? How do you say it? L'Aurora.
Yeah, the umami.
Yeah, the
La
umami.
Llorona.
Yeah,
Umami.
yeah. The
The
pirate
La-
cigar.
The La Llorona.
Yeah, that one.
Llorona.
I actually bought another one of those. I've been waiting to smoke it at the right time. I may just dress up as a pirate and smoke it in my garage by myself.
Hey,
I actually
dude.
have BL has that in the Robusto format, and they're 2 years old apparently. So
Interesting.
if you were interested in getting a 5-pack from BL, they have them on their site for
Oh, okay.
I think it's $80 for 5,
That's not bad.
and it's a Robusto, but they've been aging for over 2 years. So
Nice.
Let's see.
you looking it up right now, Pat?
Damn right.
And I just got it on good authority that they're coming out with a barber pole.
Oh,
Interesting.
really?
Yes. I'll
What's
send you a
the?
pic after we get done.
Have you smoked
Yes.
that green banded one yet? I know you. Okay, that looked really.
I haven't tried it yet, but I think it's a really mild smoke, but I haven't tried one yet. No,
The band looked really good.
that's just a charity thing that they do. It's called Piece of Heart or something, and all the money, or not all of it, but some of it, I guess, goes to Dominican children. Like there's a foundation there, and so that's what that whole thing was geared towards, a charity drive that
Right on.
PDD put together. So, and it's like an event only or a special only thing, and when you buy them, I don't know how much of the money goes, each purchase goes to this cause to help Dominican children. So
I get a lot of leather and oak. I don't know if you guys are getting that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's pretty steady all the way through, I think. And then you get some hits of chocolate or espresso.
Yeah, leather and oak are the strong flavor notes, and then you get a little bit of that sweet molasses, and then mine's gone from milk chocolate to dark chocolate.
Yeah,
Having to-
I can see that.
That
Having to
bitter,
poke the
that
band off
bittersweet.
here.
Pat, did you find that on the BL site?
I did. Give me trying to pull this band off and it's trying to tear on me, so I'm trying to save it because it's a nice band. But yeah, so BL Luxuries they do have them. They offer it in a box, but the box just at the time of this recording is sold out. It is the La Llorona Limited Edition 22, which it says is only available to certain elite Adventura accounts. Did not realize that BL Luxury was one of their primary accounts. Apparently they are. But it is a Robusto 5x52, and a 5-pack is $80, so 16 a piece.
Yeah, I feel like I'd like to try that in that size because I feel like the Corona I feel like you could get a little more, flavor out of the Robusto.
I'm interested to try. So, as I've told y'all, and we have talked about all the drops and stuff we've done lately. So, just a couple weeks ago, I ordered my last predetermined drop that I had money for. There was plenty others that I wish I had money for. So once I've kind of settled a little bit after the holidays, my next BL Luxury, I may have to throw some of these on there and try it in that size as well. See what it gets out of it.
Well, if you do that, you'll have to send me one.
Absolutely.
Kind of like the green number 2 that Chad wants me to send him.
Yeah.
Right.
I may just send that. I may just send that to all of y'all since y'all have been so generous to me, and we can even review that one.
I didn't get that one.
Why bogart him when I can share with my brothers? You know what I mean? That makes me more happier to share with you guys than it is to keep it all to myself.
And I think that's part of the community we like. It builds that openness and sharing, loving different things, discovering different things, and none of us. I don't care what your salary is, and almost. It's very difficult to get everything every time it drops. It's just it's great that the industry is blossomed so well, but luckily there's a few things that we all gravitate towards the same. But when you have different stuff, and then we can trade them out and whatever. Because I wanted to get that drop, and I had to tell myself no, just like I couldn't get the
number 2.
Yeah, the number 2.
I wanted the number 2s too, and I was like, So how was it, Justin?
Fantastic. It was great. It was just like
Stronger.
Saka said.
You had a Patt Apparel, right?
No, remember you gave me that one, but I haven't had the 4 hours it takes to smoke it. I haven't had that to sit down.
You can do it 2.5. I got
for sure. I am going trout fishing next weekend. I'm probably going to throw that guy in there because I'll have plenty of time to sit by the fire and smoke it.
There you go. Yeah, I was just curious because I've had several Patt Apparel, and they said it was stronger. Something about there's a difference in the wrapper, right?
Yes, I can't remember what number he said it was.
It was a little different wrapper, and he said he specifically pointed out to everyone when he was talking about it that it was a much stronger cigar or blend than the Patt Apparel.
It was perfect. It was well balanced. Had chocolate, had leather, had coffee. It had all the perfect, flavors that we all enjoy.
And it's a torpedo.
And
I
it's
love
a torpedo.
torpedoes. I love torpedoes.
And
torpedoes and box presses.
I didn't V-cut that. I normally V-cut torpedoes, but I decided to do a little bit of angle cut, and that worked out perfect because you get more airflow.
Yeah, I used to V-cut all of my torpedoes, and I've kind of started the last few that I've done. I'll start straight cutting it down a little bit, and then my last cut I'll kind of do a little angle. And I've seemed to start preferring it that way over V-cutting the torpedo. It just gives it a little different draw.
I think it just depends on how pointy the torpedo is. Like the really pointy ones, if you V-cut it, there's just not enough airflow inside the tip. But if you're a little bit fatter, then you can V-cut it, no problem.
If you have a Calibri V-cutter, though, what I've learned is that you can actually cut it, and to your point, it doesn't go in far enough. So as soon as you cut it, pull the excess out, push it right back in, and cut it again, and it'll actually move up farther and cut it deeper, which is probably what you would help with what you're saying.
Yeah, I have the Cigar, which is pretty good. It kind of does the same thing. It's not quite as deep as the Calibri, but it does a good job.
And basically just stuff the two tails right back in the hole, go in and make another cut, and it'll cut it. It'll make a much bigger opening for you.
My current V cutter, it's not Calibri, but it's one of the aftermarkets that's designed from there, so it's pretty much the
It
same.
looks just like it.
I swear it's this brand is there's two. There's Galiner and Winston that I guess they just got the rights to resell them and rebrand them, but it acts exactly the same. Lasts pretty much just as long, but I've done that when I V cut the torpedoes. I'll snap it twice and a little better flow.
All the times I've seen you use that, I just always assumed it was a Calibri because they make that bold red color too.
Well, that's how I found it. I was searching to get another one. This is my second one. My first one lasted 2 or 3 years, and I finally just wore the shit out of it. I mean, it was still sharp. It was just the slide finally started giving out. But that's how I found this one. Is I searched it, and it was like, hey, we recommend this one. I think it was on Amazon or something, maybe. And I go to it because I travel with this one the most. So if I lose it, damage it, $20 doesn't hurt as bad.
It's 50, yeah.
So
there's a lighter V cutter combo that does a really good deep cut, but the flame went out on me twice. So I tried. I bought it, returned it, but the flame wouldn't work. So I was like, I'm just going to return the whole thing.
Was that Calibri?
No, it was just a lighter V cutter combo. Like it was at the bottom of the lighter, and the flame was at the top. And it was a 3 torch flame. It was gold and black. It was really nice. I loved it. But
didn't Smoke Inn just come out with one of those that they were putting in as a swag item? It's actually a V cutter and a torch.
I think they've had that for a little bit.
I just keep seeing them on posts. I didn't know if they were something new, but kind of the same concept.
Yeah.
They're pretty slick, though.
I've seen a couple of them. I don't think I've ever had one or tried one because I don't know. I just haven't. I've got no reason. So, but I've seen posts of them quite often.
That's one thing I'll never have to buy is another cutter, another lighter. I have scads of them.
Oh yeah,
that's good construction.
I've been tapping mine since we got to past that point, but
it's strange because the molasses is only on the retro hill. I don't get it through regular.
Since y'all brought it up, I get it on the standard draw, but it's kind of on the back end of behind a little bit of pepper and behind the leatheriness, then it just kind of sneaks through. Definitely get it on the retro though. You are correct. It's a little bit stronger there.
I'm pulling out of one of Chad's playbook.
Hey,
wear it with style.
I did that with the Explorer this morning. I love those metal bands.
Well, that one's not metal though. That one's paper.
This one was the soft box press, so it had a metal one.
On the Explorer?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was only on the royalty blends.
It is. The only metal bands. So the one you smoked this morning with the red band is paper.
No, it was metal. I promise you. I put it around my finger and everything. If I could pull up my phone, I would show you the picture that I took.
It shouldn't have been box press either. They don't make a box press Explorer.
It was
They're
red.
all Parejo.
You'll have to show it to us because now we're curious. Well, when we get off, you'll have to show it to us.
I was about to say it's in the truck. I'll pull it off for you.
I know. So I'm wondering if we're not realizing something or we got the names mixed up. I'm now genuinely curious. So
yeah, the only metal bands they make are on the Chancellor, the King's Gold, and the Queen's Pearls.
It definitely had a metal band. I know that for a fact because I was playing around with it.
What color is the Chancellor?
The Chancellor is a silver band. That's the Corojo. It's a Toro size Corojo with a silver band. And then Queen's Pearls are white and King's Gold are gold.
Yeah, you saw the picture this morning. It was red.
That was absolutely an Explorer.
Yeah, it was a metal band. I promise you, 100%.
Their paper bands don't come off. That's the one thing I don't like about their paper bands is they don't come off very well. I don't have any intact ADV paper bands. I have to rip them to get them off because they're so tight, or they're not tight, but glued so well.
Maybe the Cigars International. That's where I picked it up. Maybe it was a special Parejo or something.
Oh, that's not one I sent you. The Explorer.
No, no. I
Oh,
got
it
it
very
from.
well could have been that. I thought it was one of the ones I sent you. I'm like, no, for sure it wasn't that.
No, no,
But
no, no. I picked it up at Cigars International the last
so
time
they
I
don't
was
have
there.
a box press in their line that's available to the public, but you're very well could be right. They
Yeah,
do all
so
kinds of special,
I'm looking at
for
his picture,
for
Chad, because
shops.
he sent it to us in the group. It definitely looks like a box press, and what it looks like a hybrid wrapper. So it may have a paper base, but it's got full, like all the print instead of the ink print. It all looks like it's foil embossed red on top of the white paper. So it looks like a hybrid just from the picture. So it may be
It
something special to them.
Yeah.
If it's a box press, man, I want to get my hands on one of those.
Well, then I'll
Box
go down to the
presses.
lounge and pick you up a few, brother.
Interesting. Something else for us to inquire about.
Right. Well, I just found out the other day that they made the Explorer in a torpedo, and there's one place that has them. I found that on that pirate site. I was talking to a guy, he showed it, and I was like, where did you get that? And they made them special for this one place.
Yeah, they had a whole box of them at the shop.
It might have been like an exclusive they had,
I think
or
it was,
maybe old product that they just don't sell anymore. I don't
It
know.
was
That's true.
15.75 a stick or something like that. So
Yeah.
You know, Cigars International just being big sometimes gets, different lots and sizes and blends that aren't anywhere else because whether it's a discontinued product or something a brand doesn't think is going to last, Cigars International just has the large community to sell them. So it could be either one of those options. Could be something specific to them or something that ADB did and didn't put anywhere else or didn't use or whatever.
yeah,
So
I saw the box press and I was like, well, that's different. I was like, I'm definitely going to try that. So I think,
Well, I know I have a box press King's Gold that was given to me, but you can't buy it. I can't buy it through my normal sources, so it must have been like a shop exclusive or something.
maybe
It's
so.
probably something similar to what you had this morning. Then that's awesome.
yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. I loved it a lot.
Chad,
Smoked it down to the nub.
since we're talking about to kind of circle back to our Black Diamond, when I don't know, you said it was 100th anniversary, and I'm trying to look. So if you know off the top of your head or not, do you know when it, or either one of y'all, do y'all know when it actually released for that purpose? Do y'all know?
I do not.
Because I am curious to see, and I don't know exactly when the 100th year would have happened, but I'm kind of curious to know when this actually came out. Let's see here. We're all about real-time searches and information, right?
We do it live.
We do it live. Let's see here. It says in 2022 they revamped it, but I don't. Was that the original or?
The original had a blue band, and then they revamped it. That's the.
So that's the
1995 it says the commemorative to commemorate its 100th anniversary in 1995.
So this
that
is
was
The
the original.
Diamond Crown line of cigars. Yep.
so this is just the re-release because clearly it
The
became a hit
rebranding.
and became a thing.
Yeah, they revamped the blend. They gave it a black and gold band instead of the blue and silver band, and it's stronger and bolder is what
Okay,
I researched.
so it's almost like Black Diamond 2.0.
Yeah. Either way, it's great. It's
Yeah, it's a great
getting
cigar.
even better. It's getting even better as I get further and further down. The
It-
dark chocolates come back, espresso, and leather.
It hasn't. I haven't gotten any harsh or harsh isn't a good word. I'll just say intense transitions. Everything's kind of been a gradual pull, but it's like gradually just getting bolder. It's not getting harsher or more bitter. Harsh was a bad term, but it's just getting bolder and more combined. And even though I lost my top cap, a lot of times you get the top will kind of flail out. It's
You
not
pulled a
doing
Justin?
that. No, I didn't pull a Justin because I didn't cut off too much. I did a V cut, but after the first few pulls, I think it just stuck to my lip and it ended up pulling off the top cap. But the under cap is staying. It's not trying to peel off or flail out, so everything else is staying solid. So it was just that one little piece.
When that Partagas unraveled on me during the podcast, that's like been ingrained in my brain to just barely get the top. Even if it doesn't look right, I'll barely just get a little bit of it.
So
Just
Just the
smoked
I,
that
tip,
one
as
the
they
other
say.
day. That Cifuentes.
the
That was a
Cifuentes.
good cigar.
So
Yeah.
it
That,
and to Justin's point, it's kind of a cutting thing. So we got different cutters, right? You know, your V cutters will stop you at a point. The two straight cutters I have sitting here right now, of course, I've still got the Great Smoke from last year's, and that one has the back plate, so you can't go too far. But a lot of your cutters, like this Calibri cut, it's an open, so you can, if you're not paying attention, put it in too far. And we've all made the mistake. And in Justin's point, it's not that he purposely did it. We were just talking at the same time, and he just slipped a little too far. It happens.
Pat, is that the cutter you just got? That Calibri?
It is. I haven't had it. A
Was that
month
the
or two now?
Camacho? Was that the Camacho one?
It is a Calibri. It's the Calibri cut. Oh, that's Justin.
Yeah,
Not me.
but did you get that with that Camacho
No,
swag set or
this
no?
this one I bought separately, specifically
That's
because it's
nice.
orange.
It's super
Specifically because this
nice.
one's orange and black. They have different colors, but I like orange and black. The one that you're referencing, I don't have it in front of me, but it's a Camacho cutter, but it's I don't know how to explain it, but like the hinge points is on the side instead of the long points. I haven't pulled it out of the package yet. I'm gonna keep it for
Okay.
whichever one of my next cutters dies, then I'll pull it out. So I'm just gonna keep it in that
Yeah.
package for a little while. But it looks like a damn good cutter, and I want to say maybe VL in the group. Somebody says that they have one and use one and like it a lot. So
It
it
looked
looks
like
like
to
a
me
damn
it
good
was
cutter.
a little different in where you squeeze, like that it would be nice to use because of where the pinch points were on your hand.
Right, it looks like it's in a different spot, and it's beefy without being bulky from just the appearance. So when the time
Yeah.
See,
comes,
you got that Dogma cutter, right? Like I did. The Drew Estate Dogma, the flag behind you that came with a cutter with a backstop with it.
Yes. Yeah, the
Yeah,
sun grown one. Yep.
yeah, I got the same one. The one I
Yeah, I
mainly
actually gave it
use.
away, but
Oh, that's nice of you. The one I use now is my Warfighter
oh, that's slick.
Zycar. Dude, it's a beast.
I liked how they have that laser engraved their insignia
that
on
is
there
cool.
too.
It's
That's
not a
Yeah,
sweet.
sticker on it. That's cool.
yeah, and then
Good
there's a
looking.
slight indentation right here to rest your cigar. I don't know if you can catch that, but
Oh
you can
yeah,
rest your cigar on it.
a little radius there.
I watch their podcast and they're rough. They're veterans, so they're rough with everything. And I am
Yep.
too. And they were like, we put a ton of cutters to the test, and they said that this one lasted the longest, and Zykar's got a lifetime warranty, and
Lifetime warranty, right?
this thing is a beast. It cuts very well.
Yeah.
Zycar is
And
the top 2 or 3 brands in accessory world, so they're good
yeah,
stuff.
and like you
So I
said,
don't know. Have you
the
guys
laser
smoked a
engrave
lot
is
of
awesome.
JC Newman or no?
I
No,
have.
not really. I've smoked the Brick House, Connecticut, and the Maduro, and then this one. That's the only
I've
three that
kind of
I've had.
jumped. Like I don't smoke a lot of those, but they have their upper echelon stuff is fantastic. Any of the Diamond Crown Maduro or Natural are awesome, and then their Maximus is fantastic,
Maximus is
and then
great.
they
Yeah,
also
I've
have
had the Maximus. The
the
Maximus is good
Julius
too.
Caesar is really good too.
I've had the. Let's see. I've had of course, the Cuesta Rays are made with
I
them.
haven't tried that yet, but
It's good. They're good. Julius Caesar I've had, Maximus I've had, Brick House I've had quite a few. I actually did the Brick House Fumas on one of our early shows because that is one of the few Fumas that I think taste very close to the original Brick House. A lot of Fumas don't taste the same. That one's pretty dang close. The Quorums I've had, I think are JC Newman. They're a low end budget stick. They're kind of like factory smoke pricing. They're okay, but everything
Peanut
else.
sandwiches.
I had one and have to disagree.
Well, you saw me
That one was-
hesitate on the okay. I'm
Yeah.
not going to give it great marks or good marks.
It's a yardstick.
It's definitely a yardstick. There's something else from there that I've had. I can see the band in my head. It's an Americano or American or American something. It's got like a flag.
Oh yeah, the flag. I
Um,
haven't tried that one either.
I'd have to go
Brick
look
House.
it up. But
No, it's a whole line they had come out with an American like a It's almost like a has a
Like
crest with an American flag in it.
yeah, that's
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
visualizing. It may just be the American. It's American something, but I can't remember exactly which one. But I remember the band. I remember enjoying it. I'll have to go back and look.
I said brick house because I know they have the American band on the bottom of the. It's a foot band.
Yeah, yeah, on their foot they do.
Uh,
Yep.
there's a story behind that. When I first started my cigar experience, I bought a Olivia Series V, a Davidoff Signature, and a Brickhouse Connecticut to kind of get all three flavors. And the first time I had a Brickhouse Connecticut, I hated it. Did not like it whatsoever. And so I waited on it. And, you know, I waited. I think a whole year before I smoked another one. So it had a year of age, and it actually ended up being fantastic. My palate has changed over the years, but you know, with age
Yep.
comes a better flavor.
A lot of times, I think when people smoke Connecticut starting out, they smoke them so fast that they make them just putrid. Because if you
Yeah.
overheat a Connecticut, it doesn't show in the same way a Maduro will. A Maduro will hide a lot of that. But when you overheat a Connecticut, it'll get rancid on you quick. And I
I've
think
made that
that's the
mistake.
mistake a
smoking it
lot
too
of
long or
newer
too hard.
smokers do it. Yep.
I guarantee that's probably what I did because I tend to smoke too fast in general. So I try to slow down, but that's probably what I did in the beginning. That's probably why I didn't like it.
And then the second time you were taking 30, 40 seconds between puffs and probably tasted
Yeah.
a lot different.
Man, there was a point in time where I literally set my watch to a minute timer. So I was like, you gotta slow down, Justin. And I would set my timer and it would beep and then I would smoke and I would beep and I would smoke.
Yep.
Now I've kind of just wing it.
Well, now you know, because if you smoke enough cigars, you figure out when the cigar will tell you if you're smoking it too fast, like all the
Yep.
signs. You'll see the pointy ash. You'll feel it heating up in your hand, and you just slow down a little bit,
All right,
right?
back up a little bit. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so as you smoke cigars and smoke more and more, you just kind of you don't have to really keep a watch on it. You can every cigar is different. Some cigars you can just puff away on and they'll never get hot.
I
And
find
some cigars you
the
gotta
ones
watch
that
it.
like James smokes, the Gordos, you can smoke those pretty fast.
Yep.
Yeah, Gordos you can smoke faster. You can turn a full Gordo into a 2.5 hour smoke or an hour smoke, and they seem to just because there's more tobacco, they seem to kind of give you
Right.
more
Stay
margin for
consistent.
error.
You get into a smaller ring gauge and you start puffing too hard, you're gonna
Yep.
ruin the cigar.
Those
Essentially.
Dunbarton Lanceros, you got to smoke slow for sure.
Yeah.
Have you had any of those yet, Chad?
Yeah, I've had about 3 of them out of the box. I had the number 2, and then I smoked the green Vitola first, which I did not like at all. It's not my thing, man. So I smoked the Candela, the number 2, and I think somebody told me to smoke the number 5, and I smoked that one. And they're all, I mean, the 2 and the 5 were pretty good.
The two
still,
was
none of them-
fantastic for me.
Yeah, it was, but it's not as good as the original. That's the number
Mhm.
1, the NL. Now leave me the hell alone.
Yep.
I still think that one's better than the 2 and the 5, but I heard 8 is really good, so I might try that one next.
I'm slowly working. I've only smoked a couple so far. I'm purposely smoking 2 through 8 first. Then I'm gonna hit the Candela, the GFY, and then I'm purposely holding the primary smoke for last. But the reviews I've seen from people that have blitzed through all of them so far, the general consensus seems to be that out of the secondary blends, 2 and 5 seem to be the going favorites so far from what I've seen.
I've heard a lot of good reviews on 8 too.
I've
People say
had
they
the
like
2,
8.
which was good. I haven't hit the 5 yet, so we'll see.
I'm
if
smoking them in order. I went to Now Leave Me the Hell Alone, L2, and then I smoked L3 yesterday, which was decent. But I'm going to continue working my way left to right.
I'm keeping them in
I'll get
order,
to the-
except for saving the Now Leave Me the Hell Alone for last.
Yeah.
But closing moments on this cigar, because we're all Chad's pretty much nub having the marquee. We're not far behind. My personal thought, it hasn't had a lot of flavor changes. Those leather, cocoa.
Yep.
Now that Chad has brought out what it is, the molasses, it's there. It's deep. It's bold. I feel. I want to say almost chalkiness on the palate, but it's not that dry chalky. It's just full of smoke flavor. Have y'all had anything different other than good consistency for y'all? Or
No, I mean, for me, the thing I like about this cigar the most is that it's really strong, but it's elegant at the same time. So
Indeed.
For me, I like elegant cigars. I like ones that don't leave a bunch of residue in your mouth and things like that. And that's what this one does for me. It's strong and bold, but it's elegant at the same time. Smooth,
I think it's that
really smooth.
Dominican leaf that does that. You get that
Yep.
elegant taste.
I
This has
love
stayed
Dominican.
consistent all the way through. I enjoyed it. The molasses has got a nice little finish to it, but other than that, it's been leather and dark chocolate and espresso.
Yep.
I know we went a little bit longer on time today than we normally do, but we were so close. I wanted to keep talking and get us to that point. And I don't mind going over every once in a while, but it was smooth. It stayed consistent for me, so I wanted to see if it was going to stay true on the show, and to me, it has. So definitely an elegant cigar, worthy of everything that Fuente and JC Newman anticipated to push out. So for me, smoking this the first time, it's definitely not going to be the last time. Luckily I've got a couple more. One that Chad sent, one that Ellen sent that I'll let rest a little while, and I'll pull it back out and smoke it again. So as a first time smoker, I'm pleased at getting the notes that we've got out of it.
I agree.
Yeah. Construction on these is always on point too. I've never had one that's failed me.
Yeah, if they're all built the way this is, that's a damn good mark to look forward to on my
Every
end.
one of them. Well, and that's what you get with Fuente. Every
Indeed.
time.
Well, I'll say something that's going to get you guys a good laugh. I had to use my tool because it was a little plugged.
Oh, you did?
I did. I didn't. I was
Wow.
doing it while we were talking, but I had to.
Bad Justin.
Yeah,
Bad
I had
Justin.
to do it. I had to do it twice because it wasn't putting out much smoke, and I was like, "Man, what's going on with this thing?" So
For y'all
I fixed it
watching the
with-
show that don't know, we give him hell all the time because this man has the worst luck of anybody I've ever met, talked to, including, it doesn't matter if it's an online order, a brick and mortar shop, or stuff that me and Chad send to him. This man has a knack for getting plug cigars, and I don't mean that he just thinks they're tight. He legitimately has to use draw tools more than anyone else in our group. It's ridiculous. So we give
I
him
have
hell.
Tunnel burns. He said
I have
something
the
tunnel
worst
burn.
luck with tunnel burns, plug cigars, but I got the best luck with contests.
Yeah, that's right. See, so it all comes around.
It's a balance.
Well, gents, as always, great show. Said longer than normal, but that's perfectly okay today. I'm in a mood. I really don't care. So hopefully you guys watching have enjoyed our random chit chat, the stories we've talked about. And again, another great cigar. Again, Diamond Crown, Black Diamond from Fuente and JC Newman. As always, look forward to this again next time. It's been a great show. And everybody out there in YouTube land, stay safe and hollow down.
Cheers.
See you guys.